Okay, so this is sort of going to be like a bidders conference. I'm going to talk a little bit in the beginning, and then you guys can ask whatever questions you have. Cool? So this is like the universal "is everyone with me" sign. Okay, excellent. So Good Measure planned this gathering for tomorrow with a group of alumni. And this group of alumni met from sort of June to October to plan something that was going to be fun and different. And they really kept saying they didn't want another Zoom meeting. This was going to be fun and engaging. So you guys may have heard of rapid grants from other places. Rapid grants have happened nationally from folks. And sort of the idea of a rapid grant is it's supposed to cut out the benefits of folks who are big and have full-time grant writers. It's like quick off the top of your head, just get it done in a couple of hours. Sometimes it happens within a day. Our originally plan was to do this during the day and have a break during the day, but we decided instead to do it the day before. And really and truly, we tried to give benefit to organizations that may not compete well in traditional, you have 6 weeks kind of grants. And the planning committee really thought about this and set up the awards so that the smallest organizations competed for the largest money, and you were only competing against organizations sort of your same size. So that is what rapid grants sort of are about. We are trying very hard to be community driven. I don't know why I chose that picture, but if your annual budget is less than $1 million, you're competing for $2,500 to enhance community-driven evaluation within your organization. If your annual budget is between $1 million and $5 million, you're competing for $1,500 to enhance community-driven evaluation within your organization. And if you're over $5 million, you're competing for $1,000 to enhance community-driven evaluation within your organization. And all of that was about community-driven evaluation. This is what we're trying to get to. How are you guys going to spend some quick cash to really improve community-driven efforts within your organization, whatever that looks like? And in a nod toward equity, this is a quick and dirty, 500 words or less. You only have to answer 2 questions. It's actually, I think when you get the SurveyMonkey link, we ask you what your organization name is, how to contact you, and whether or not you're a 501c3. But these are the 2 questions you have to answer in 500 words. What would you use the funds for to enhance community-driven evaluation efforts within your organization? You don't have to submit a budget. You just have to say, hey, I'm going to do X. I'm going to have stipends for an advisory group that's going to meet for the next year, or I'm going to have focus groups and I'm going to buy pizza and have stipends, or I'm going to hire a consultant or send staff to training. And then once you try this, how do you plan to integrate this method into your organization? How are you going to sustain the efforts once this sort of little cash infusion is gone? I'm going to give you some quick and dirty helpful hints. I would suggest you write in a document, whether you use Microsoft Word or Google Docs or whatever you use at your organization, because SurveyMonkey will not count your words for you. So write it elsewhere and then paste it into SurveyMonkey. Have someone from your organization show up at the closing plenary. It's a must be present to win kind of award. like raffles when you were younger. And here's sort of the answer. We have folks who are going to review your applications this afternoon. This is exactly what they're scoring on. Extent to which community voice is already part of your staffing structure, leadership, or board. The clarity of your plan to use funds to enhance community-driven evaluation in your organization. The use of funds was reasonable in the amount for the amount awarded. So for $1,500, you're not going to hire a full-time person for the next year, or you're not going to do anything enormous. What are you going to do quick and dirty to make this happen within your organization? Ooh, I see a typo. Plan for inclusion of community voice was well thought out, and the likelihood that the use of funds can be sustained. That's everything I have to say. Do folks have questions at this point?
Kristen, you said they'll be reviewing this afternoon. When is this due?
3 o'clock.
So rapid.
Are you looking at your computer? It is a rapid grant. And actually, like when I've done, so I've only done this once at an APHA event, and we had 45 minutes. So like 3 hours is a lot, but this is like really truly like off the top of your head. What do you think? Hey, this is something we've always wanted to do, and I've never had, with $1,000, I could pay people to do 3 focus groups, or I could, I could send 2 of my staff to a training that we normally couldn't afford. It is really, what can I do with these funds that is gonna help me integrate community-driven evaluation within my organization? Are any of you thinking I'm completely crazy? You can say that we're, so I will say this did come from a group of 6 Good Measure alums that thought, the 2 of whom did have done rapid grants at other events and thought that they were fun. Questions? Like, you guys should leap in.
Kristen, for the way that we write it, does it need to like sound like a story, or can it just be, is it supposed to be very kind of cut and dry? Do you have a recommendation on that, or any advice?
I would say it really doesn't matter how you write it.
Okay.
You're answering those 2 questions, like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to sustain it. And you're going to do it, it's a Survey Monkey link. So you guys are going to like just type like, or cut and paste into a Survey Monkey link. This is less about the fluff, right? Like normally when you write grants, you have like all this boilerplate that you're sitting on that talks about why your organization does this and how it does that and how it's going to work. And this is really just, hey, I have an idea. This is what I would love to try and do. And this is what I could do with another $1,000 to $2,500. Taylor, does that make you sad?
No, not at all. Actually, I'm very excited. I just am trying to think about how I'm going to incorporate the rubric into my response, because I want to make sure that I'm answering each of those 5 criteria.
It's not, I mean, I've only competed in one of these once. I didn't win. But I will say that what it did for me was it sort of helped me crystallize my thinking on an idea that I had. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't terribly scary. And if you guys want to send me questions over the next 3 hours and say, I don't understand, or, the link didn't work, you can feel free to reach out to me via email. This should be not stressful, and sort of fun. And, you know, what's that idea that you guys have always had that you never just had the quick cash infusion to try to make happen? I know a couple folks joined a little late. I'm just gonna go back to what are the questions that you're answering? You're answering, what would you use $1,000, $1,500, or $2,500 for to enhance community-driven evaluation efforts within your organization? This is not, you don't have to submit a budget. You just have to say, hey, I would love to do a series of focus groups and I could afford to buy pizza and stipend everyone $25 because there's this core question that I don't understand that I want to get a better understanding of. And then once you finish those 3 focus groups or the training for staff or whatever that is, how will you sustain these efforts once the funds are utilized? Like if you're training staff, obviously those staff live within your organization. But if, you know, maybe you've always dreamed of starting an advisory committee and you've never had the resources. So you're going to hire a consultant to help you bring together some of your clients in a series of focus groups that are talking about what an advisory committee would be. Or you have an advisory committee and you really want to engage them more fully in evaluating programming. And that's going to be, you want to be able to stipend them to be able to do that work and maybe hire some outside support for that. You get to sort of dream how you're using the resources. Does that help folks? Particularly folks who came in late. I don't want you to feel like you missed a core component. Remember, it's a fun competition. If you win, God bless. If you don't, it took 2 hours of your life, right? So, you know, it's not like you spent 6 weeks writing a grant and then didn't win it. Does anyone else have any questions? You guys should like leap in.
Kristen, can we submit more than one? Like if we have multiple staff, or would you recommend or can you only submit one per organization?
Well, you're going to be competing against yourself if you submit more than one. So we will be awarding in those 3 categories: under $1 million, $1 million to $5 million, and over $5 million. So if you submit 2, because you have 2 ideas that are equally good and it only takes you an hour to write each of them, that's totally fine, but you will be competing against yourself. And I will say the only way that might help you is if I don't get a group to submit in a category. So let's say I don't have anyone under $1 million that submits, or anyone over $5 million that submits. We can award 2 within one of the other categories. Or we can award like a second prize in a category. But we're only awarding 1 in each size of organization. Does that help? Are there any other questions?
I had sent a question through the chat asking what time would we need to be present? Because I know that event tomorrow is like 6 hours.
Yep, it's 1:30 when we do the awards. Although it's going to be riveting, the entire day will be riveting, but we're going to do it at the end of the day.
What are you looking for in terms of specifics? Like, do you need exact numbers?
This is not an exact numbers kind of grant. This is a tell us in whatever way makes most sense to you, how you're going to do what you would do with the funds. You don't need a budget. And really think about sort of what the rubric is. And part of sort of our equity journey is that we at Mission Capital, we always put the rubric out that you're being scored on as part of the RFP. So this is the rubric. Extent to which community voice is already a part of your organization, whether it's in your staffing, your leadership, or your board. You have clear plans to use the funds to enhance community-driven evaluation within your organization. The use of funds is reasonable for the amount awarded, so you're not going to hire someone full-time for a year for $2,500, or you're not going to give people, you know, $1.50 as a stipend for coming to meetings. That your plans are well thought out, and that the likelihood that the use of funds can be sustained within the organization. That's all we're looking for in your responses to those two questions. Did that answer your question, Maya?
You did, thank you. And can you remind me what the fund amounts are? Is that on a slide somewhere?
Yep, it's $1,000. It's somewhere here. $1,000 if you're over 5 million. $1,500 if you're between 1 and 5 million, and $2,500 if you're under 1 million.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? So I'm giving you guys a SurveyMonkey link to turn in your applications. If you have trouble or you have other issues, don't hesitate to email us at collectiveimpact@missioncapital.org. The applications are due at 3. I have promised to get it out to the review team by 3:30, and it'll probably take me that long to paste them into the tool that they're using to do the scoring, which is like a big Excel spreadsheet.
Can you post the link in the chat?
I can.
Thank you.
So I'm going to make sure that there are no other questions in the chat that I didn't answer. And I'll paste in the Collective Impact email in case you need that as well. Good luck, folks. I look forward to seeing your applications, and really don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions after the call. And I hope I'll see you at the Good Measure gathering tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not seeing the link in the chat.
It went from, oh, you know what? I don't know why it went to everyone in waiting room. I'm resending.
see it. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all so much. I gotta go, right?
Okay, good luck, everybody.
Thank you.